Hey Corey, this is Joel. There's the difference on the backswing right there. The old gold on our left versus the new blue on the right. Not near so flat on the backswing. Swing on the left is the first one. See how your hands are in a much different spot here as you start your downswing. And the one on the right is more normally where you are, where the shaft is flattened out earlier. And then after impact, it's just a little bit higher there in your torso when it first shows up there on our right on the new blues. That's much more we want. There's not as big a daylight gap in between your legs there at that point in the follow through because your foot's a little bit better on the ground there on the right. So those were the main things today, buddy. And let me show you these swings starting back from the first one today. Here's the first one we recorded today. That's a little bit above the plane there for you. That's part of the reason you weren't hitting it in the sweet spot as well. But then on that backswing especially, it had gotten a little too flat, and so your hands were just in a really funny spot all throughout the swing, and like you were disoriented with it. And from this face-on angle, Corey, again, you're just swinging a little too easy at it compared to where you normally are. As a result, again, by kind of waving at it, swinging like a girl a little bit too much, everybody, those legs are kind of soft for impact compared to what they normally look like. And then with the driver, still I'm going to say it's a little too much inside on the backswing. And here just a little bit above the plane line like you know, and then those legs again through impact. They're not as terrible as they've been at times, but they're right through there. That look is not as good as it is when you're swinging your best, Corey. Seeing that right foot's even sliding a little bit. It's leaving its position there. So those are the main things, buddy, that we saw today, right? They need to keep getting better. So here, the legs are obviously looking a ton better here. See no daylight at all between your calves at this point compared to where you started. So it looks a lot better on the left. So remember, you just hit a ton of balls with your feet flat on the ground. That started helping. You immediately started hitting it more on the sweet spot with that look there. So your legs get more solid through impact. And you're still kind of waving at it, but then in a few minutes later you started swinging at it. There you go. After that one a little more aggressively, which is good. Your normal pace. There you go, buddy. That's looking a bunch better. There you go. So these are just going chronologically now through the lesson today. Yep. Balance is a ton better there, bud. Still a little bit above the plane line. But you see how that's getting better. And again, there's no daylight there at all between your calves at that point in your follow through, unlike where it started today. Yeah, so that wasn't too good there. And then, yep, so that's looking better there, bud. Right there. So much more on the plane line there at that point in the follow through, or their backswing. And now that club head's getting closer to that plane line earlier in the downswing, creating better ball flights for you immediately there, bud. Started getting your draw, and it was more on the, way more on the sweet spot than what you started with. That looks a ton better, Corey. Yep, much better there. That's you feeling like you're doing the loop. There you go. There you go, buddy. That's you feeling like Jim Furyk. You feel like you're taking it way outside. Not way outside, but more outside. And then here you feel like you're really dropping down underneath the plane line. And that's when the ball flights started getting better and better. As you're hitting balls today, buddy. Here's a new blue. A skosh above it on that one. There, you're swinging at it. You're not loafing at it. And again, you start killing that driver. There's your normal balance. No problem. Right there in your finish. Able to swing at it, not having to think about anything, Corey. There you go, buddy. That's more what you're after. This last swing or two we recorded. Love it. Good work there, man. Again, remember there's three things. If you're missing the sweet spot and stuff, it's probably because your feet are a little too active through impact. See, at least there your right toe didn't change position, unlike it did at the beginning of the lesson. It was doing at the beginning of the lesson today. So again, do a lot of drills with your feet on the ground. If you're starting to miss-hit a little bit, thin or fat, or on the toe or on the heel a little bit, get those feet on the ground, hit 10, 15, 20 balls with your feet on the ground better. With that drill right there. And then if it's not your normal strong draw, if it's starting a little too straight or a little too far right or something, or weak right, I'm sorry, then that means you're above the plane line a little bit. And then again, if your hands are feeling a little funny, if you just can't release it like your normal free release, Corey, then go ahead and check your backswing path. You're probably a little bit underneath it. Those three things. Keep your feet on the ground better, keep more solid contact. Go ahead and make sure you're on the downswing plane line properly. On the downswing, to make sure that you're getting your normal strong draw, like that. And then that one's actually a little bit above it, but get it back on that plane line real well to get your normal strong draw. And then if your release is feeling a little bit funny or the timing's a little weird, you're probably just a little bit underneath the plane line on the backswing. Thanks again, buddy. That's great work today. Good work. Play well in Hawaii.
Okay, now we're going to look at the deep squat. We're also going to convert to the K trainer. We're going to look at some movement. What we're only going to look at is side bend movement with the K trainer, okay? Okay, put your arms over your head. Let's have you do a squat and let's see what it looks like. Good. Come back up. Do another one. A couple of dysfunctional moves. As you can see, the K-best turned red a couple times. But what I normally see, an athlete go down a little bit. This is what I normally see with some of my athletes. That's about it, as far as we go. We'll see the knees coming together, we'll bend them together, and as you can see, it totally turns red on the K trainer there. Some of the corrective exercises that we certainly would do, don't just have a gentleman hold a weight, 10-pound weight straight out here. What this weight does, starts to engage the whole core. Now do the squat. And how much easier that is. The weight just drags you right down, the core is activated, the hips totally open up. Some of the other things that we do to correct this is where you're the cheater, put your heels up on the board, and now do your squat. A little bit of rotation at the bottom of the squat. Much better than it originally was.
This is Joel Suggs. I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend and showing you your swing on the 2D equipment that I have. And so I want to take about 2 or 3 minutes to just show you around Meadowlands. This is the studio I use in the winter for all my students. You see there's the down-the-line camera angle for our 2D equipment, and then we have the face-on camera angle also, and then what we also have here is 3D equipment to where I can show you your swing from 6 different camera angles with this 3D equipment, and we can get your swing from down to the 1/120th of a second in terms of exactly what your hips, shoulders, and hands are doing in the swing. And then also, I have the most realistic hitting curve I've ever seen from puttersedge.com. So when you hit your full shots, it feels as realistic as possible. And then I have 3 different green speeds for you to practice your putting. 9.5 on the step meter, 10.5 on the step meter, and 12.5 on the step meter. That's benefited my students tremendously. And then also I have a lot of learning aids like this Smart Stick. You can see the rest of those learning aids over here in my bag that we can work on to help you learn at a certain field in your golf swing that you and I both want. And then also I help my students a lot with their equipment through the winter. This is a frequency analyzer where we twang your club and it gives us a reading here. And then also we plot your whole set, each club on these lines to see if the set is really matched or not. Quite often they aren't, and it helps my students tremendously when they find out what clubs are the offending clubs. Then if we get tired of being indoors and we want to go outdoors and hit some, we can do that. It's my daughter. Ellie, good to see you. I haven't seen her in weeks. No wonder you've been gone, Ellie. You've been out here playing in the snow all this time. But this is our natural turf area. This is closed until April, as you can see. But it's a fantastic area where we can step outside and hit some balls and get some real ball flight. Or, if we get pretty satisfied and things are looking better on the video here, we're kind of cooped up inside and want to go outside, we can step on out and hit balls and see real ball flight for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, however long you and I can stand the cold, out into the air, and we see them land at these different flags. I have a yardage book for this driving range. It's the first one I've ever seen in my life where we know exactly what it is with the front, back, and middle of each green. And again, the covered area here is heated, so we stay out there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I said. It enables us to see some ball flight, and then we get satisfied that things are looking the way we want, and we come back inside, take off our coat, and look again at the video equipment to see how your swing's looking, to make sure that you understand it. And then notice too, my exercise ball up top here, and then also, so I help my students a lot with their fitness through the winter, and then I will help you also with your sports psychology, with your golf psychology from the golfpsych.com people down in Texas. That's helped my students tremendously a lot over the years too. So again, I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend. I look forward to seeing you again out here this summer at Meadowlinks, or even right now in the winter. I have a lot of people that work on their games with me right through the winter. Check out more information about the things I do to help you at joelsuggs.com. Take care.